Today, I'm out at Days of the Dead, Las Vegas, day one. See how this goes.
So, I did my first horror convention as a filmmaker. What worked? What flopped? Was it worth the time and money? Let's break it down.
I'm Jay Horton. I make movies that make money. This is how.
So here's the deal. I've never been much of a convention guy. I don't collect memorabilia, I don't geek out over autographs, and I don't have an overwhelming need to pay $50 for a blurry selfie with a 70s horror icon. It's just never really been my thing. But as a filmmaker, I'm all about trying out new ways to get my movies in front of people. Because let's be honest, this industry doesn't wait for you. You either adapt or you fade into obscurity faster than a straight-to-VOD sequel. And since over the last few years I've been diving back into horror with Craving, A Hard Place, and my upcoming Apex Predators Club, I figured, why not? Let's see what these horror conventions are all about. So today, I'm breaking down my first horror convention experience at Days of the Dead, Las Vegas. What worked? What bombed harder than the Mummy reboot? Hey, I kind of like the Mummy. And most importantly, was it all worth it?
I've been to a couple as a spectator. This is my first time on this side of the convention.
How did it go?
It's been amazing. A lot of people coming through, a lot of interest, making great connections. Just a family-friendly atmosphere that we're enjoying here.
Before we get into what you clicked on this video for, the costs, the sales, and all my rookie mistakes, let me say this. The main thing that I took away from this experience is horror conventions are about community. Yeah, I mean, you sell stuff, you network, you promote your film, but more than that, you meet people who actually care about indie horror. These are folks walking the walk, and seeing it all firsthand, it really hit me different.
Nothing beats horror fans. They're just the absolute best human beings and creatures, whatever you want to call us, on the goddamn planet. So thank you for visiting our booth. Clown Motel 3 coming out this summer. See it, you will not regret it.
For the most part, the vendors weren't just there trying to make a quick buck. They were supporting each other, buying each other's stuff, hyping each other up, and just hanging out like one big dysfunctional horror family.
Jeff Webb, I'm here as a fan of horror, but also as a member of the cast of A Hard Place. You can see I'm representing the t-shirt. So getting to visit with our director, Jay Horton, Bravo, who did the special effects, and many of the other actors that we had in the movie. It was a fantastic time making that film.
Do you do a lot of conventions? You go to a lot of conventions?
I do. Yeah, I go to several every year. Basically just, I think pretty much all of us, whether you're working on one of these films or you're just a fan, like this is the place to be. And it's been awesome to really see like the enthusiasm for A Hard Place actually here with all the stand-ups and everything. I mean, I couldn't get a better placement right when people come in the door. They're like, man, we want to find out about this. So it's been a great experience to talk to people about the film.
If I have one major regret, it's that I was a little too caught up in my own stuff, on my own table, a little too self-focused. I mean, I was nervous as hell, but next time, I'm going to make a point to connect more because honestly, those relationships are what make this business sustainable.
So my name is Mary Kate and I'm here with Clown Motel 3 Ways to Hell, and this is actually my first horror convention having a booth. So this was all kind of like the little burnt pancake, but it turned out so great. And the biggest thing I was like, I really want to draw attention, and I'm like, obviously it's Clown Motel, so why not have a big giant big top that everyone can see with a big clown nose on top, you can see from the door. So I think the biggest thing is go for it, you know what I mean? Jump in, both feet, any idea, crazy or not, you know what I mean? Everyone has loved it. And we've really had a lot of fan engagement with bringing them into our clown chair, and we take selfies with them, and it's free, and we interact with them, and everyone has loved it. And all of us as a cast have had the greatest, most fulfilling creative experience being able to do that with them. So lots of engagement, lots of fun, and whatever idea, crazy or not, just go for it. That's my advice. So.
We lucked out with placement at the Days of the Dead Las Vegas. Our table was right up front. First thing people saw coming in, last thing they saw on the way out. It was perfect. We had a Hard Place merch, t-shirts, mouse pads, posters, signed pictures with the actors, DVDs and Blu-rays from my last movie, Craving, which actually was our bestseller, screen-used props from our FX guru, Robert Bravo. We had 3 full monster suits on mannequins on display. They were absolute attention magnets.
It's been an incredible opportunity to meet a bunch of people. There's so many nice people here, excited to learn about new movies, meet new people, feel that energy of some horror and fun throughout this space. Some people liked buying some of my photos, so that's pretty cool. And then a lot of people got really excited about A Hard Place, which makes me really happy.
Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the sales and let's talk numbers. So here's what I spent. $400 for the vendor's table, $500 on merchandise creation, $600 for flights and lodging. Then, and this is what got me, $1,000 plus on incidentals. That's food, transportation, parking. Man, Vegas casinos are price gouging champions. So all in all, a total of about $2,500. Now, how much did we make? Wah, wah, wah. Just over $1,000, and a few hundred of that actually went directly to the actors for their signed pictures. So yeah, financially speaking, I took a hit. But, and this is a big but, I still consider this a win. We got our movie out in front of hardcore horror fans, and a lot of them. We had a little QR code on this little flyer we were handing out that went directly to our trailer. And that weekend we saw another like 15,000 views on the trailer. And people kept coming up to the table and, you know, asking about the movie and checking out the monsters and taking selfies with them. The buzz was real. What did I screw up? So you don't have to. Bad timing. I rolled into this convention right off the heels of a 2-week screening run with A Hard Place in other cities and states, and I was exhausted. Conventions require energy, and I just didn't have it, and I made some poor spending decisions because of that. Messy merch presentation. Now, don't get me wrong, I think our table and display looked great. It was all organized very well, but I think there was a little too much variety and not enough focus on what I was really there for, which was A Hard Place. Our table kind of looked like a horror yard sale. You know, I should have streamlined it more. You know, so, you know, we had Hard Place, then we had Craving stuff, and then we had actors with, you know, pictures of themselves that had nothing to do with the movie that they were signing. It was just a little too much of a potpourri. Vegas is expensive, and I did not plan ahead good. And I ended up spending something like, you know, $20+ a meal at the casino, $20, $25 every single time I left the event and had to come back for parking because I wasn't staying at the casino that the event was happening in. It's like $5 for a bottle of water there, like a sucker. Next time, grocery runs.
Be prepared, yeah, because like this one in particular is a lot different because a lot of the cons that I do are in the Southeast. So traveling from there all the way over here, you know, we realized we didn't bring enough because we compared it to other conventions. So having said that, I don't have the opportunity to just go home and grab more supplies like say in Atlanta, or for here, for instance, it's way busier than I could have actually ever expected. So yeah, be prepared for anything because it's wild. Vegas is wild.
I had too many people behind the table. You know, between myself and we had 3 or 4 actors and then like producers were there. I mean, at one point there were 6 or 7 of us behind the table, more people behind the table than in front of it. And it looked like a family reunion, you know, not a vendor booth. And I think often passerbys like didn't want to interrupt the multiple conversations going on, so they just kind of kept going. I had no laptop or monitor playing our trailer or material. Now, at most conventions, you're not going to have access to power, but, you know, laptops, their battery lives are long. You can get little, like, mobile power stations. There are ways to do it, and I really wish I would have had a laptop set up playing, or at least looping the trailer. What I got right, I brought the monsters.
This is Sylvian.
Those full-size suits were a major draw, and it's something I plan to do more and like a little more elaborate on future conventions. I had my actors there. And I know I just talked about having maybe too many people behind the table, but you know, when it comes to engaging people and pulling them in, like Kevin Caliber and Rachel Amanda Bryant were particularly great at that. Physical media moves. Again, Craving Blu-rays and DVDs were the biggest sellers. And I think I still could have sold those without having such a big footprint on the table. You know, ultimately it's too early for hard place DVDs and blues, but you know, we'll see how those do in the future. Best booth of the convention, Desert Fiends 2 and Clown Motel 3. They had awesome setups.
So for convention tips, what is very helpful, if it's in your area, it makes it easier because you know a lot of people. I've been out here 20 years in Vegas. I add people, I share it, I network, I support others, which is very valuable. If you only think about yourself, then you pretty much be by yourself. It's a team effort. And do things like QR codes, have a nice banner, have the prices up front, so there's prices of things, engage, always have somebody at your thing so nothing gets stolen though. But I suggest going to other people in the businesses. Sometimes you can collaborate and work together. It's ultimately what works for you.
So in the end, was it worth it? Well, I did lose money on this one, quite a bit, but I'm still gonna call it a win. Would I do it again? Absolutely. But would I do it smarter? You bet your butt. Here's the takeaway. Horror conventions aren't just about sales. They're about community. They're about engagement.
Awesome. How was the convention?
Pretty good. 10 out of 10. Recommend. I will come back next year and every other year for sure.
Awesome.
Definitely. Everything you would expect and then some, from the celebrities to the vendors to the great work that's created here.
Next time, I'll be better prepared. Next time, I'll make smarter financial decisions. And next time, I'll actually step away from my damn table and talk to people more.
You know, it's all like a hustle, you know, and I don't know, you just have to always make sure you bring enough product and you have to market yourself. That's what people do. People sometimes come to cons and they don't, this is what I tell everybody, they like expect the show to do it. We all have to do it together. So I'm always pounding. Days of the Dead, I'm coming to Days of the Dead, I'm going to be in Days of the Dead, Day of the Dead. You know, this is my first time West Coast con, so I want to get a lot of those West Coast people, so you got to put that word out. Because, you know, I mean, the con's going to only do so much and say, like, you know, here's the show. But you gotta hustle, man. You gotta hustle.
If you've been on the fence about doing a horror convention, maybe you're like me and don't see yourself as a con person, I say go for it anyway. Learn from my mistakes. And if you see me at the next one, come say hi. Just don't expect me to maybe remember your name. But whatever you do, keep making movies.